We are kicking off Speed Readings 2.0 on August 8th, and if you'd like to view all 4 sessions, August 8th, 14th, 17th, or 20th, you can now get the all-access live viewing pass on funastrology.com. This time, we're opening the door to all 4 sessions, but live only. I learned so much from Robert last time, and I know you will too. So if you'd like to get links to all 4 sessions, it's only $19.97. That is an incredible bargain. Go to funastrology.com to get yours now. Welcome in to the Friday edition of the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thomas Miller, thank you so much for being with us here. We have quite a homework assignment today. We have a lot to set up that we're going to catch up on. How did you like Jenny Geyer's report yesterday on today's aspect of the Venus-Uranus square? Didn't she do a great job? Got some really good feedback on that, and we've had good feedback also on the Old Soul, New Soul episode on the lunar phases. So if you're into moon and moon stuff and moon phases, check out, I think it's still the latest, Old Soul, New Soul podcast, but it's one of the top 2 over there. Don't forget, you can go to funastrology.com right up at the top and pick up a viewer seat, a viewer pass to all 4 of the upcoming speed readings if you'd like to see Robert Glasscock and me read 5 charts in 2 hours. And you get all 4 days that we're doing it in August. All the details are at funastrology.com. And some of you have joined the Twitter. I'm really loving that. So I've got a new Twitter account for me personally. I've always been in, the names of the podcasts and everything, and really have not been that active there, but I'm having fun with it. It's at Tom Miller Talks. That's the best I could do on X or Twitter. We also have a dedicated Fun Astrology Twitter and also Thomas Miller Talks on Instagram as well. Now, there's one aspect today at 9:26 a.m. Eastern. Jenny covered it yesterday. Venus squares Uranus. I'm going to leave it to her and everything that she said yesterday. If you didn't catch that, go back and you can pick that up. I want to look ahead. 2 things coming up this weekend. The moon enters Leo Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern, and then we have a new moon on Sunday, and that's at 7:13 in the morning, of course, in Leo. And then late Sunday night, Venus enters Virgo. That's at 10:22 p.m. So that's your weekend. There it is. New moon weekend. Time to create new beginnings, and boy, we need to. And I just would like to say this. If you're new and you're checking this podcast out, we have a saying around here that we've been using for quite a while. I'm living my highest timeline. And the idea behind that is that in all kinds of ways, in all of the ways of my life, I'm doing my best. I'm reaching for the stars as best I can. I'm trying to be the best partner, employee, parent, child, if your parents are still with us, etc. And on the spiritual side, it's just a constant reminder in your brain, in your subconscious, that we are on a spiritual path. And it's to say I'm trying to do the best I can spiritually as well. I'm living my highest timeline. I'm trying to do the best. In astrology, we have duality, best pictured by the good old-fashioned opposition. There are 2 sides of every coin, and we try as best we can here to talk at least about both sides of the coin and tilt toward the positive side, because you and I are living our highest timeline. But sometimes we come into little stretches where things get challenging in the sky, and the more shadowy side of the aspects appear to be more dominant. And when we're talking about the collective energy, you do read more of the shadowy side. You and I have the choice. We can spin on a dime, and if we're headed down the wrong path, we can flip it that fast. Or we can look at an aspect and we can decide how we're going to ride that out if it comes into our lives over the next several days. That's why we do what we do here, short-term focus. But when we look at the bigger picture and we project it out to the world, there's not the same level of consciousness. So as we look into August, we have some challenges coming up. We've been in the shadow period for about the last 10 or 12 days. We hit retrograde on Monday, the 5th. That goes until the 28th, and then we have the shadow again for 10 or 12 days. So all the way into September, we're dealing with Mercury in retrograde, and you know that can throw kinks and wrenches and surprises and twists and turns and changes and unexpected things. Uranus being the higher octave, if you will, of Mercury, except when Mercury's in retrograde. Then they're probably on par. The trickster. What's the moon up to in August? Well, Sunday is the new moon. The full moon is on the 19th. That will be in Aquarius. Surprises? We'll see. And let's put a parenthesis in the middle of this because I think we need to get on our mental radar. September 17th is a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces at 25 degrees. And then on October 2nd is the solar eclipse. That's an annual solar eclipse, and that will be in Libra. One other thing while we're down the road there is September 1st, Uranus turns retrograde. There is a list of all the retrograde planets. You link to it right about in the middle of the home page. As you scroll down, you'll see Retrograde Calendar 2024, and you can just click to that, and it's right there on one page. Now, this is where August gets interesting. Let's hop up to August 14th. That's when Mars and Jupiter, kiss on the lips right there together. Some people call it a conjunction. That's the first of three. It happens also in November of this year and July of next year. Ray Merriman on our Saturday episodes has been saying quite a bit about that. Then the big day of the month is the 19th. Venus squares Jupiter, the two benefics, squaring off. Also, Venus is opposite Saturn. Because Venus rules money, a lot of financial astrologers, including Ray Merriman, have their eye on that aspect as well. And finally, on the 19th, the Sun squares Uranus. One more I'll mention, and that's on the 22nd, Venus squares Mars. So you can see what we're talking about. Opposition, square, conjunction of two fiery planets. All of that within 30 days of the beginning of the next eclipse season. On Wednesday, we had the situation in the Middle East. When you think of collective energy and you have these kinds of aspects, you just wonder where everything is headed. Okay, what do we do? How do we live our highest timeline? Well, I'll tell you one thing I've come to the conclusion is that in everything I do, I'm going to try to project a message of love. I'm just done with all the other stuff. I'm done trying to figure it all out. There's been a lot lately that has put my face right back into my religious past. I took a look at it, and I just quit trying to figure it out. I just thought I'm going to project love because that's the ultimate message. You go back and read the sacred texts. Go back and read the Bible. Go back and listen to the words of Jesus. The whole thing points to love. What does the world need the most right now? Love. So if there's chaos around, hopefully we're safe physically. Hopefully our families and our homes are safe. We can certainly pray for that. Beyond that, find somebody who needs some love and send it to them some kind of way. Be a light. The other thing I've done is just blocked, turned off. You see it online sometimes when you're there, like Twitter, you can't avoid it. But I try not to focus on the news. Head in the sand? Yeah, I'm trying to finish a book. That takes a lot of work, a lot of focus. But also, I just don't want to know. Right now, my space is clear and clean, and I'm going to keep it that way. And I'm going to set my focus on the divine, the highest power, source, the universe, God. I came away from this last review of everything over the last several weeks with that as the focus, really drawing closer to God. And aren't you hearing that in so many other places? Maybe that's one of the impacts of Neptune just about to leave Pisces. I don't know. That's some pixie dust that maybe it will leave behind. But I just figure the highest timeline way through this is closer to the divine, closer to source, closer to God, and being in love down here on planet Earth. Like you, there are a lot more questions than answers right now, and I just figure those are two of the best places we could stay and send that out energetically to the rest of the world. Well, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully it's quiet. It may not be. We'll see. Mercury on Monday. Got that to deal with. But we're going to get through it all, and we will find high timeline ways of doing that every day the rest of this month. We'll stay on it and keep the focus high. I love you guys. Have a wonderful time. Hug your kids. Hug your spouse. Hug a stranger at the grocery store. I mean, just send love. Maybe not that. You know what I mean. Have a good one. Bye-bye. And I love you.